Gebrselassie, who twice has won the Olympic 10,000 meter gold medal. But at 35 years old, in his fourth Olympic Games, he mostly runs marathons nowadays, but passed up the marathon here to compete in the 10,000.
Without question, Tom, one of the greatest distance runners of all time, has the absolute respect of everyone in the racing community. And the question tonight is, can this 35-year-old man grab a medal for Ethiopia at his age and with all those miles in his legs?
And the favorite to win the race from Ethiopia, Bekele, Kenenisa Bekele, looking for two in a row. World record holder, reigning world and Olympic champion, and the overwhelming favorite here. And from the United States, Abdirahman. Abdirahman coming here, a naturalized American citizen. And Galen Rupp, who's on leave from the University of Oregon. And the 38 runners on their way in the men's 10,000 meters. And interesting to see that big smile from Haile Gebrselassie that we've seen on the Olympic stage so many times. Instead of running the marathon because he was concerned about hot, humid weather and possible pollution, the air quality, he decided to pass it up. Here he is in the 10,000 meters instead. 25 laps of the track. Abdirahman, Rupp, and Torres, the American representatives in this field.
Haile Gebrselassie, as you mentioned, highly respected, and you would think that with all of his credentials that the country of Ethiopia would just appoint him to the team here, but that wasn't the case. Gebrselassie had to run a time trial held in Hengelo, Holland at the end of May to prove his fitness for this 10K, so he is on the team, earned his way to be here tonight in Beijing.
And Bekele, with so many runners packing the track, goes right to the front.
Yeah, he's really shown to be the man to beat tonight. Bekele on his way to becoming a distance legend, running against the guy, obviously Gebrselassie, who is already at that status. He's entered the 5K, but he'll make his decision based on what happens here tonight in this final.
Fabiana Joseph of Tanzania takes the early lead, and Ed Eyestone joins us. And Ed, comparatively very cool here in Beijing tonight. At last report, 66 degrees, although the humidity up at 94%.
Yeah, 2 nights ago we were treated to an Olympic record and second fastest time ever in the women's 10,000 by Ethiopian Tirunesh Dibaba. And now it's the Ethiopian men's turn to bring home the gold. And I would think that Kenenisa Bekele, certainly these conditions are suited to him. I think we'll see a very fast time tonight.
Seleshi Sahin of Ethiopia is engaged to Tiru Dibaba, that you mentioned, the recently crowned women's 10,000 meter Olympic champion. So a very strong field from Ethiopia in this 10,000 meter final.
And a very big field with 39 runners in the field. That's pretty large by Olympic standards, but things are sorting themselves out as they go. 2:16 for the first 800, slower than Olympic record pace.
Alejandro Suarez of Mexico takes over the early lead.
There's a great expectation tonight that the Ethiopians have a chance, a shot at a sweep here in the 10K, and it's been a long time since that's happened in the Olympic Games. Go back to 1936 when 3 athletes from Finland swept this event, but it will not be easy with the type of competitors we have out here on the field.
And Tadesse makes a move. This is Kidane Tadesse.
Kidane Tadesse was seeing that the pace was way too slow for him and all of a sudden inject some speed. And if there's anybody who's going to break up that Ethiopian sweep, it would be the Eritreans with Kidane Tadesse and Zersani Tadesse. Zersani Tadesse was the bronze medalist from 2004, and in that attempt, when he won the bronze medal there, he went out and hammered the pace.
And they decide it's too slow for them, and they both run out to take the lead. Now running as a team, going back and forth, switching the lead, letting one draft for a little bit off the other.
The Kenyans came into this meet saying that they were not against using team tactics to try to break up the Eritreans and the Ethiopians, and said they were going to have a team meeting maybe to talk strategy. And I tell you what, that better have been a long team meeting, because the talent level of the Ethiopians and the Eritreans is such that they just have such a great skill set. It's tough to beat them. I mean, you take this pace out hard, and you can't run faster than Bekele because he has the world record, and if you let it go slow, he's going to outkick you in the end because he has tremendous finishing speed.
Medhin of Eritrea, Tedesse of Eritrea running 1-2, and Bekele is running easily and biding his time. He's in there in third position right at the moment.
The 10,000 meters at the world-class level requires tremendous amount of endurance. Obviously, it's 25 laps, 6.2 miles, but that really isn't enough anymore. These races, these championship races, come down to usually a very fast sprint finish at the end, and so unless you're able to close in 53 seconds, even 52 seconds at the end, a lot of times people move up to the marathon. And I know Kenesa Bekele, with his ferocious sprint, has encouraged a lot of people to move up to the marathon.
20 laps remaining. We'll take a break and back with more of the men's 10,000 in just a moment. Men's 10,000 continues on the track at the Bird's Nest. 6 minutes into the race, and Haile Gebrselassie running about, there he is, 7th, 8th in the pack at the moment. And of course, as we mentioned earlier, twice he has taken home the gold medal from the Olympic Games. One of the best distance runners in history. Here he is in Atlanta, winning the 10,000 meters in Olympic record time. And then following it up 4 years later with the victory in Sydney. And one thing you can always count on, that big smile from Haile Gebrselassie.
They say he's how old? 35?
35 years old and still going strong.
Amazing.
Well, Tedesse of Eritrea, Medhin of Eritrea, Bekele, the favorite from Ethiopia, Tedesse from Eritrea. So Eritreans with 3 of the top 4 places at the moment. Then Shaheen of Ethiopia and Rashid from Qatar. He's in the purple uniform.
And Kenenisa Bekele in third place continues the stalking position. He's going to be content to ride there as long as he can. He won't, I don't think, push the pace. I think he'll be content to let the Eritreans try to run away from him, and he will match them stride for stride. Just wait until he will lower the boom the last 400 meters.
Eritreans still 3 of the top 4 spots, with only Bekele splitting them at the moment. He is in third place.
Back there in the pack is Abdi Abdirahman of the United States, seeing there moving up with the 12 on his hip. And he's known for a guy that likes to run toward the front of the pace, just really kind of only knows that way. But right now Abdi's a bit off. You can see he's pretty far back in the pack, but again, this is a huge field. You expect that as the race continues to develop, Abdi will try and move up.
And Abdi's in fine position right now. You know, he's rolling along. He's in the main group. He just can't drift any further back. And I tell you what, Abdi is razor fit right now. We saw him in the training camp in Dali, and I've never seen him more lean and hungry. And he's got to close up each little gap that opens up if the American is going to have a chance.
17 laps to go, and Abdi had quite a memorable celebration after taking the title at the U.S. Olympic trials. He said, after I've done all this work, I might as well take a dip after winning the 10,000 meter final at the U.S. Olympic trials. Who wouldn't want to take a swim to cool off, but not in the water jump of the steeplechase. Michael Phelps, he's not.
You know, I think that's what keeps Abdi in good spirits. You know, it's his mentality. He's got kind of a free spirit, a fun-loving guy, loves to smile and laugh, and that helps keep a great balance in the midst of all this Olympic pressure.
But he has his serious side as well. In fact, he wears a black band on his wrist to honor a fallen competitor. Ryan Shea, the marathoner in New York, the Notre Dame runner who collapsed and died in the midst of the marathon, honored with a black band on the wrist of his friend, Abdi Akhtarahman.
I wear this black wristband because of a memory of my friend Ryan Shea, and he says, okay, believe in yourself, and that's what I told him right before the race started, actually, at the New York, the Olympic marathon trials. And he said, good luck, Abdi. And I say, Ryan, you can do that. I say, just believe in yourself. And that's the last word I told Ryan Shea, and just, you know, it meant a lot to me. And, you know, I've been wearing since I went to his funeral, and it will never come to my hand. Doesn't matter how old I get, just, you know, something I always have the rest of my life.
So in honor of Ryan Shea.
And Abdi did a lot of training with Ryan Shea up in Flagstaff, Arizona, and that hard training that Abdi and Ryan did together is part of the reason Abdi's here tonight.
Galen Rupp is just a couple of strides behind Abdi at the moment.
Again, we can see that the pace is kind of packing up again as we get some more grouping, and Galen Rupp running along in the pack, moving up with the pace. I talked to Alberto Salazar, his coach, beforehand, and he said that Galen's strategy was just to run a conservative race. He knew he was in pretty good shape. They'd gone down to Houston and done a lot of heat training, so Alberto was actually wanting a hotter race, and but he was going to run a conservative race and then try to move hard the second half.
So 14 laps remaining in the men's 10,000. Jorge Torres, is a few strides behind Galen Rupp as we check the progress of the Americans.
All three of the Americans in the lead pack right now, and Jorge Torres is now being coached by Steve Jones, the former world record holder in the marathon. And I know that working with Jonesy has helped Jorge out quite a bit because he's been doing a lot longer runs, a lot longer tempo marathon type runs, and that's certainly helped with his strength, and it's yielding some dividends tonight.
There's a look at Torres. And they continue on their way with Tedesse of Eritrea continuing to lead the pack. In second place, right behind him, is Abdullah.
Bekele in third place has hardly moved. He's content to maintain that third place position, and now we can see a Kenyan moving up on his outside shoulder. Remember, they had said that they were not above meeting together and doing some team tactics, but I don't know exactly what kind of tactics they can do other than stick as close to Bekele as they possibly can.
It's Martin Matathi of Kenya. And the favorite Bekele still looming largely in striking position as the 10,000 continues. Kendai Tedesse of Eritrea is the leader as the men's 10,000 meters continues on the track at the Bird's Nest. But no one has forgotten about Bekele, who is seemingly running in the same position effortlessly the whole time. He is right now fourth place on the outside behind the leaders.
They came through 5,000 meters in 13:48, so that's roughly 27:40 pace. I'm a little bit shocked that they're not taking advantage of these good conditions here and run a little bit faster, because quite frankly, when you're running 27:40 pace, there's about 30 guys in this pack that are capable of doing that. So you're letting people who really have no business in being in the lead up there, and if by chance they have a great finishing kick, they may be able to steal a medal.
11 to go. Tedesse of Eritrea leads it. Moses Masai of Kenya has joined the leaders, as well as Martin Mathahi, also from Kenya.
We mentioned earlier.
Here goes Bekele, just made a little move there and spurted into second place.
Yeah, look, see a little communication there. It looks as though he's looking back for someone to come up and help him. No question that the Ethiopians will work together, as you see Haile Gebrselassie there with a little bump and shove, but there's some communicating going on back there, as now you see Bekele in second on the inside against the rail.
That's Moses Masai, number 10 on the hip, in the lead now, and he was the Olympic trials champion for Kenya, so you know he is good. Bekele now moved into second place, and a Kenyan moves up on his shoulder. That's Martin Mathahi.
And here comes Gebrselassie, who moves to the front with 10 laps remaining.
And I think that's what Kenenisa Bekele was looking for. Say, hey, where are you? It's your turn to get up here and take this lead for a little bit. So now Gebrselassie taking the pace.
Interesting that one of the greatest distance runners in history playing a little team tactics and helping his teammate perhaps take the gold medal.
Gebrselassie may be 35 years of age, but he can certainly handle this pace, and now he has stepped things up. We can see things are stretching out a little bit, and he'll continue to be in that lead until someone takes it away from him.
Gebrselassie leads Abdullah. He's in second place. Masai is in third, and Bekele fourth. Jockeying back and forth. And another lead change as the lead pack still contains two of the Americans, Abdirahman and Rupp. Torres has fallen back out of the lead pack.
Galen Rupp looks very good running on the inside rail. He went down to Houston and was training in 100-degree plus weather to get ready for the heat and humidity. And it's certainly 88% humidity right now, but the temperature is about 68 degrees. He's got to continue to hold that tempo and move along as things roll out here to give himself a chance.
The issue still in doubt as the runners continue, with Mathahi of Kenya leading Haile Gebrselassie. Then two Eritreans, Tadesse and Medhin.
And Tom, you'll notice as they come up the home straightaway, everyone's looking up at the big board at the end of the straightaway. That's how they keep an eye on the competitors at the back, as again there's a change in the head of the pace. It's just amazing to watch how they work back and forth, and no question someone at some point is going to take off as they begin to think about medals, but right now sharing the duties of the pace.
Well, this is one way you can do team tactics, and it's these surges, mid-race surges, and the Eritreans certainly are doing that as they go back and forth, but the Ethiopians are responding to each one of the surges. Zersane Tadesse, number 29. He was the bronze medalist from 2004, and he is the one upping the tempo at this point.
Gebrselassie on his heels, and then Kendane Tadesse of Eritrea, I should say, is in third place. So Eritreans first, third, Ethiopians second, fourth, and fifth.
You know, when Zersane Tadesse won that bronze 4 years ago in Athens, he returned to Asmara, the capital of Eritrea, and was mobbed at the airport when he arrived there. They put him in a car with a sunroof, opened it up. He stood up with that bronze medal around his neck, and they drove him all over the city. He was a national hero.
And Zersane was exchanging it there with Haile a little bit. I think Haile clipped the back of his foot. Zersane pulled out on his side and said, hey, what's up here? I'm trying to win an Olympic medal. Stop clipping my heel. He's still looking back at him.
Yeah, gave him a look right there, and Gebrselassie said, well, give me your look if you want. Moves right alongside him, and then Tadesse spurts back ahead of Gebrselassie, and there's Bekele coming into third place.
Wow, the first runner being lapped. Look at the athlete from Portugal being lapped.
And Tedesse leading 3 Ethiopians now.
And I think that's just frustration on Tedesse's part, because it can be so frustrating when you're out heading this, relentless pace, and you know that you have some of the world's best kickers right on your back ready to lower the boom at any point. And if they clip the back of your heel, it's just infuriating.
Boniface Kiprop joins the leaders from Uganda. Into that clipping of heels the last lap. Here it is with Gebrselassie on Tedesse's heels, and he gets that look. Hey.
Like I say, frustration on his part. He's saying, I'm doing all this work up here. At least give me a little space, a little respect, please.
And Tedesse leading Gebrselassie, Bekele, and Sahin, the 3 Ethiopians, as the Americans now. Abdirahman and Rupp have dropped out of the lead pack. Torres did earlier.
And for Galen Rupp, one of the things he said that he is learning is that toughness is going to be important, and this is one of those baptisms on the big stage. He'll have to take this and go back to training and come back in 4 years. He'll be back.
And there's Abdi. He's fallen back out of the lead pack. But back in that lead pack, it's Mika Kogo of Kenya, Haile Gebrselassie, and Bekele right there. They continue now, and we'll be back with the conclusion of the men's 10,000 meter final right after this. With 4 laps remaining, Mika Kogo of Kenya leads Haile Gebrselassie of Ethiopia. Tedesse of Eritrea is 3rd, and Bekele is 4th. Then Sahin of Ethiopia in 5th. Moses Masai of Kenya also up in the lead pack, with Matathi, also a Kenyan. That's the lead group.
And it's Kogo's turn now to be dogged by Haile Gebrselassie, running just right behind him as close as he can.
And Moses Masai of Kenya moves up from the back to join his teammate Kogo.
Two Kenyans followed by 3 Ethiopians, 1 Eritrean left in that pack of 5 as they begin to put some distance on the rest of the field.
So Masai and Kogo are 1-2. And then Bekele 3rd, Gebrselassie 4th, and Sahin 5th.
And Kogo was the one who had stated publicly, we shall stick to teamwork to overcome our rivals, and I pray that we succeed. And he better pray very hard right now, because he has 2 of the biggest kickers in the world right on his shoulders.
Moses Masai of Kenya, Kogo of Kenya, Bekele Ethiopia, Gebrselassie Ethiopia, Sahin Ethiopia, Tedesse Eritrea, and Matathi of Kenya. And now it is Kogo's turn to take up the lead. But Gebrselassie and Bekele don't seem to be phased by it. They're just sort of running evenly. You saw Bekele look over his right shoulder. Nobody's out there, so satisfied with his position now, with 2 laps to go, just over 2.
And look at that shot right there. The 3 Ethiopians together, again, trying to make history for only the 2nd time in Olympic history to sweep the medals. And you think about the experience of Haile Gebrselassie, 2 times the Olympic gold medalist in this event, 4 times a world champion in this event.
Lapping some slower runners.
Bekele on the shoulder of the leader, looking good, full of bounce. Appears to be waiting to strike, poised for the kill, but the Kenyans are going to make a rough road of it for him.
Masai back to the front. Kogo staying there on the outside, trying to block Bekele a bit. Now Kogo jockeys back into the lead. Bekele on his heels in second place. Sahin also starts to pick up the pace. Had to duck inside a slower runner right there.
Sahin looks very good. He was the silver medalist from Athens.
Splitting and ducking inside the slower runner, and now Bekele says, a lot of traffic here, I'm just going to turn it on in the final lap, and he sprints to the lead, joined by Gebrselassie and Sahin. The three Ethiopians turn up the notch and open the accelerator. Here comes Kogo of Kenya trying to keep pace.
Kogo has not given up on this.
He's in third place now. But Bekele and Sahin. And Bekele running away with it now. Top of the home straightaway at the end of the 10,000 meters. Kenenisa Bekele appears to be on his way to victory. Sahin will take the silver medal. And tight with the Kenyans for the final medal. After 10,000 meters, they sprinted and it was close. Perhaps Kogo got there, or Masai. And Gebrselassie did his best for his team out there, setting the pace at times, keeping things honest. And Bekele has two to match Gebrselassie 2 gold medals. Here's Galen Rupp finishing for the United States.
Bekele ran that last 400 meters in 53 seconds.
And Abdi Rahman through the final meters. To finish his 10,000 meter Olympic race. Kenenisa Bekele of Ethiopia, 2 in a row, and he's now won the last 5 major 10,000 meter titles in the world, 3 world championships and 2 Olympic Games. Bekele wins it. Sahin and Kogo out-leaning Masai to get the bronze medal, the 2 Kenyans. And the Ethiopians take the victory lap after Bekele set an Olympic record in winning his 2nd consecutive 10,000 meter gold medal.
Well, they didn't get the sweep they wanted, but again, the Ethiopians proved their dominance on the biggest stage. Gold and silver for Ethiopia. The Kenyans break it up. But Haile Gebrselassie can jog with that flag because he is one of the greatest distance runners ever and deserves this victory lap, even though he has no Olympic medal in 2008.
And at 35 years old, he finishes 6th, but he did his part for the team. And still has that smile.
Well, that's the smile that has endeared him to people all over the world, no matter whether it's on the track or on the roads. Haile Gebrselassie, one of the great statesmen of track and field.
Meanwhile, the Ethiopians celebrate as they finish 1-2 in the 10,000 meters.
Bekele, by winning that Olympic gold medal, brings his tally to 2 golds in the 10,000 meters, and he joins some pretty rarefied air with Haile Gebrselassie, Lassie Viren, Emil Zatopek, and Pablo Nurmi all have 2 Olympic gold medals as well. All legends in the sport.
And here he was sprinting for home at the end of 10,000 meters, 25 laps of the track, and he's still looking around, and nobody can keep pace with him as he sprints to the line and sets an Olympic record in the process.
53 seconds for that last 400.
So Tirunesh Dibaba of Ethiopia wins the women's 10,000 meters. And Kenna Issa Bekele wins the men's 10,000 meters for Ethiopia. And the man who won the silver medal, Shaheen, is the fiance of Tirunesh Dibaba. Kenna Issa Bekele of Ethiopia with an Olympic record 27:01.17, winning his second consecutive gold medal at 10,000 meters and posing for pictures all the way around on his victory lap. The Ethiopians run 1-2 with Kogo getting the bronze.